everybody! So it is currently, what temperature is it? Like 14 degrees outside here.
No, 23.
23, oh, it's getting warmer. So yesterday the heat in our building just stopped working.
On the coldest day.
The coldest day of the year. It was like 6 degrees. So we were freezing in here. They got somebody out here to fix it. I wonder if it was happening to a lot of places because Ashley, her bedroom is like on the street, and so she heard at like 11:30 last night. She heard our super down there like yelling at this like heat guy, like, you've got to get this working. Like, it's 6 degrees outside. These people are dying upstairs.
So
like,
when the heat goes up in our building, so does the hot water. It all seems to be connected somehow. You know, these New York buildings are crazy. It's like super old systems. Have we ever showed you guys the like pipe system?
Probably not.
We'll show you guys in a vlog. Like, the heat system here is pretty crazy. Anyways, we were freezing yesterday. Thank the Lord for heated blankets. But it's slowly starting to get warmer.
Yeah.
Like, we're so excited about 23 degrees today after running errands yesterday and 6.
Yeah. But I currently have a heated blanket on me that I'm sharing with Poppy, who's right here, snuggled in about 3 different blankets. And she's out.
She's wearing a sweater.
She's out. She's so tired. And just, I think, freezing. So poor thing. But we're sharing a heated blanket. She's fine. But
it's not
we're
that
getting
cold
through
in here.
Not anymore. My room and Ashley's room are, I mean, frigid.
They're at the front and the back of the buildings with the most windows.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not why we're here today.
No, it's not.
We're here today to do a little Q&A for you guys. In our 2019 reader survey, we asked you guys to ask us some questions. We got a ton, so we're going to split it into 2 different videos. We'll do another one in February with the rest of the questions here. Only problem is these are all anonymous, so we don't know who they're from, so we can't like
shout you out.
Yeah, talk directly to you.
But if we answer your question, comment down below.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Sure.
Okay, first one, which we haven't really talked about. Someone said, I've wondered about this, and I know it's personal, but where do you both stand on relationships? I know living together with 3 girls in an apartment probably isn't a great way to be with another person, but for the years I've been watching you both, a partner or any hint of a relationship from either of you has never happened, so I'm curious. It's been intentional, I would say, yeah, for both of us. The way that we were raised was to never rely on somebody else and to always have yourself together, stand on your own, be confident in yourself before having somebody else there. And not that that's a bad thing. People can live their lives the way that they want. That's the way they choose. Nothing wrong with that at all. We've just kind of wanted to get ourselves to a place, I feel like, especially me, where it's like I'm good to go and then someone's just there to kind of compliment you, and you're there together, and like I never want to be in a place where like I don't have my own money, I don't have anything, and I have to rely on somebody else. That's just not my nature, and that's not really yours either, I feel like. And boys are stupid, especially in New York. It's not dating in New York is not a fun thing.
You would think
so
there would
just
be
kind
like
of been like
endless options, but
there is. I am just so picky.
Yeah. I mean, that's also something that I probably won't ever share.
Interesting.
Like publicly.
See, I would. That doesn't bother me. I guess that makes it, yeah. She probably wouldn't.
Wouldn't surprise you.
I would. So you'll know when that happens. I've just actively chosen not to. It's not, you know, that's where I'm at with that. Yeah. But maybe 2019 will be different. Who knows? All right, next question. What's one country that you really want to go to but haven't made it to yet?
There's so many.
I have like my top 3.
Okay, what are your top 3?
Japan, Australia, Costa Rica.
I would say my top 3 are Bali.
It's Indonesia.
I really want to do like something around the Swiss Alps, like Switzerland, like something wintry, snowy.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a specific destination in mind, but something for that. And then Australia. Really want to go to Australia. So no. Oh, change my mind. I don't remove Australia. What I really, really, really want to do is do a safari.
Oh yeah.
There's too many things. This question's too hard.
So going off of that, what are our next trips for 2019?
We haven't really said.
We haven't really said. Partially.
Are we gonna answer this?
Let me take it. Partially because we don't 100% know yet.
That's completely honest.
At the end of the year, we decided we weren't going to do anything in January or February. As you guys know, we launched the sister market. It's obviously not a super cheap thing to start a business. So we invested a lot of our time and money into that, and so we wanted to kind of take a step back. Another thing is that last year, we really didn't focus on New York at all. We did a few things here and there in some of our vlogs, you know, we were out and about.
We traveled so much last year.
We were barely here.
Yeah.
And we've heard from a lot of you guys that you want to see more New York content, and we're like, duh, we live here, like why did we not do that? I mean, it wasn't a conscious decision. I didn't like think about it. It just, we weren't even really here.
For us, when we hear travel content, like we want travel content, we think outside of New York because we live here.
Right.
But we forget that for the majority of you guys watching, New York stuff is
a
travel
travel
for you. So we're making a conscious effort to spend a little bit more time in New York this year.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and do some like staycations in New York. We're gonna try and stay in some hotels. We've stayed in a few, and we know a lot of people who have stayed at different ones, and that's how we choose the ones that we recommend to you guys. But we want to go and stay in even more so we can recommend different ones. Kind of, I guess what we're thinking is 2, maybe 3 bigger trips this year, and then the rest will kind of be, I would say, international, and then the rest we might throw a couple like domestic ones in the US in, and some kind of like staycations in New York. But get ready for a lot of New York content. We'll announce trips when we know, but we have nothing booked as of this moment, which is so weird. So that's why we haven't really talked about it or said, because we don't know.
We're still figuring it out.
And we don't want to be like, oh, we're going to this place, and then be like, oh, never mind, sorry, we're not. You know, so we'll let you know.
We're researching, we're working it out.
Okay, next question. When is the next coffee meetup?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, we've gotten this a few times. We need to plan one.
Yeah. For
here. And then I've also had a few requests of us to do one like in London or in different places when we're ever there, and I think a lot of you guys are from England. I guess we can probably say we probably will go to London.
Trips this year.
Yeah, we most likely will go to London at some point this year.
We just don't know when.
Yeah. So if enough of you want to do like a coffee meetup in London, that's definitely something that we can do. We need to plan another one here. Leave a comment down below kind of what, I mean, it would definitely have to be on a weekend.
Leave a comment down below if you're watching this where you live.
Yeah.
Like, not your address, but you know, like your country or your state or whatever kind of city you live nearest, so that we can kind of see, and if there's a lot of you that kind of live in the same area, we can plan accordingly.
Yeah, good idea. Oh wait, I accidentally skipped one. Okay, next one. It's kind of 3 questions in one. It's whose dog is Poppy? How did you meet your roommate, and our favorite places in New York? Okay, so Poppy is Alex's dog, our roommate. So I met Alex at school. We went to FIT together here in the city in college. She actually grew up just about 15 minutes from where we grew up in Texas. We didn't know her, but like our schools, like in high school, would like play each other in football and stuff. So we have definitely been in the same place at the same time. I just didn't know her. We met at FIT. The rest is kind of history. We became really close. I studied abroad with her. Yeah. It wasn't even really a question. I mean, I'm not even sure she asked. She was just like, I'm gonna live with you. We were fine with it, so it doesn't matter, but yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Our personalities get along
yeah.
good. We're all kind of like similar but different. So
I think it's funny, so I'm a Scorpio, and my like 4 closest friends, not including Ashley, 2 of them are
because I'm not her friend.
No, just because it doesn't work in this analogy. 2 of them are Scorpios and 2 of them are Tauruses. And when I've looked at like all of that stuff, Scorpios get along best with Scorpios and Tauruses. So I just think it's funny that that's the people that I've like naturally gravitated towards. So
and I'm not part of that scenario because she has to like me. We're blood. Alex is a Taurus.
I don't like that word.
If you didn't get that from that story.
Favorite
and if anybody's wondering, I'm a Cancer.
Okay, what are your favorite places in New York?
That's such a broad question.
It always changes.
It changes depending on the season.
Yeah.
I would say I love Central Park. Not right now because it is freaking freezing. Although Central Park in the snow is fun, but we haven't had snow. And I love it in the fall and spring, a little bit less in the summer because it's too hot to be outside. What are my other favorite places in New York? I don't know, you go.
I mean, Janice, currently the one thing that's coming to mind is the Starbucks Reserve Roastery because it just makes me really happy.
Yeah, we've been there exactly one time, but it was great.
Yeah. Well, we're going this weekend. I don't know. It is hard because it's like, are we picking restaurants? Are we picking places?
I mean, I have a bunch of different restaurants that I love. Like any kind of like brunch scenario makes me happy. It doesn't really matter what or where.
Anytime I'm around the plaza and get to see the plaza, I just get really happy because it's like my favorite. That is my favorite place in New York.
I love holiday markets in the various areas that they pop up in during the holidays.
I like just sitting in like any of like the street parks and just like people watching.
Anywhere where I can feel a little bit of an escape. Yeah, any of the parks or there's a park kind of close to us right on the East River. So you kind of get out of the tall buildings and skyscrapers and cement for a second and get surrounded by a little bit of nature and like a little bit of a reminder that, oh, we live on an island. We're surrounded by water.
Isn't that crazy?
So things like that make me happy.
The next one, she asked if we could share more about struggles with our migraines and anxiety because she shares the same issues. So I did a blog post on anxiety. I've thought about doing like a Q&A video. I don't really know because I kind of like shared my whole story in the blog post, so I don't feel like it's necessary to like make a video repeating the same thing. So if you guys have like any like anxiety related questions, leave them below, and if there's like enough, like I'll do like, if there's just a couple, I'll answer them in like a vlog, but if there's a lot, I'll do a whole separate video of like just those questions, but I'll link the blog post down below in case you didn't see that. Migraines, we both have them. You kind of struggled with them first, so you...
Okay, sure. I have had really bad headaches my entire life. Like I remember as early as elementary school, riding the school bus home and from like a long day of school, and I would have the worst headache. I would just call it headaches at that time. I didn't really, it was probably a migraine, but I didn't know that. I was like 8. So I've had them for a while. We have a little bit of a family history of them. So they got really, really, really bad in college. That's when they were the most debilitating to me. Like if I had one, dark room, quiet, no sound, had to lay in bed with my eyes closed, couldn't move. I would get so nauseous from the pain too. So it was bad, and I was getting those pretty frequently at that point. I saw plenty of doctors. Basically, I was diagnosed with migraines, but they were migraines that were triggered by things I really didn't have any control over, hormonal. So I would always get them just before and or during my period. Sorry if that's TMI, but that's just how they they come for me. And then my other big trigger was like barometric pressure changes with the weather. So like if a storm came in or like a cold front or whatever, if there's a big weather change, that often triggers my migraines too. So unfortunately, those are 2 things I don't have control over. Other triggers are like food or you know, even like scents and smells of different things. I know people that have those problems, and those are things you can control. You can remove those things from your lives and hopefully get less migraines. So for me, I was on a series of medications. It built up to something quite extensive, where I was taking daily medicine to ideally prevent the migraines, and then I had separate medicine for if I happened to get a migraine, and then like medicine for the symptoms of that, like nausea, and it was a whole thing. That went on for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years, and then they were getting less and less frequent. I wasn't thrilled about being on so much medication, so I eased off of that with doctor's assistance and get them way less frequently. Now I would say I get really, really bad ones maybe only a couple times a year, whereas before I was getting like maybe 4 or 5 a month. It was pretty bad during the height of it. I think my doctors have said that it's pretty common around that age, like college age, early 20s, to kind of get them pretty frequently, and it's common that they ease off the older you get. So now I'm, you know, 10 years down that line, and I'm getting them a little bit less. I had one actually weirdly like a week ago that was pretty bad, but that was the first one that I can remember in maybe like even a year. So yeah, if I get a migraine, usually there's nothing that really helps. So then it's just like treating the symptoms. It's laying down. I have a few different things that I do. I usually take, if you're in the States, Aleve. That was what was recommended to me from my neurologist back in the day.
But definitely talk to your
doctor. But he said that's the most effective with helping migraines over the counter medication wise. So I usually take that if I get a migraine.
So mine were actually really bad when I was in high school, so even younger, and I think mine are mostly hormonal and stress and anxiety induced. Sometimes with the weather, that happens too. So all 3 of us actually have migraines, and if it's one that's triggered by like the weather or something in the air, we all 3 have it, I mean, it's like, it's a mess in here because we're all just like dying. So yeah, I kind of do the same things that she does, because when I started getting mine was kind of right after she had kind of gotten off like all of her medication and everything with hers, and so she told me to start taking Aleve because that's what her doctor had said, and that is also what works for me. But for instance, like that doesn't work for Alex, so always talk to your doctor about what's gonna work best for you. But yeah, I just try to do essential oils, you know, sit in a dark room in silence, and you just have to wait it out. There's not much you can do, unfortunately, which sucks.
Yeah, sometimes just to distract so that I'm not sitting in a super quiet dark room just thinking about how much pain I'm in, I'll put on a TV show like Friends really quietly, because I've seen it a bajillion times, so I don't really need to watch it, and I know what's happening with my eyes closed, just to have like a little bit of a mind distraction. So maybe try that. If you have any other specific questions, let me know.
Okay, next one. What inspired us to start the sister market, and what steps did we take to achieve it all? We've always wanted to work together, like we've said, and you know, that's why we started the blog. It was all very natural, and we get a lot of people telling us that, you know, we're really good at kind of like curating products, and we're really good gift givers. Like we know like what to give for certain people, so we're really good at kind of like finding those products. I mean, several people tell us that and kind of say like, oh, like you should, you know, like start like a store that has all that stuff, and we're hearing that and we're like, oh yeah, like we really should. It's all been kind of like a natural progression, so that's kind of how it came to be. There was lots of steps to make it happen. There's lots of stuff on the business side, there's lots of stuff on the creative side. Thankfully, our dad has started 3 of his own businesses, and his main one, he's an accountant, and so he kind of has a lot of that knowledge of the business side, so he really stepped in and helped us to kind of file all the right paperwork and, you know, turn it into an LLC and trademark things and everything like that. We let him take care of that because he knows.
Do.
Yeah.
Figure it out for us.
Yeah. And
which
we
we're thankful that we obviously are thankful that we have that. We fully recognize that everybody has that kind of guidance.
Yeah.
I mean,
we kind of did all the creative stuff, but then I do all the financials on the day-to-day basis. Like, he doesn't do that. He just kind of helped us with the initial setup, but then I do more of the business stuff. She does a lot more of the creative. I mean, we're collaborative on the creative. She just doesn't have the time to do the financial stuff too, and she kind of finds that boring, where it really comes naturally to me. I can get it done. I can get it done much quicker than
searching and sourcing for products. I'll do that all day.
Yeah. So we were really passionate about, you know, finding the right kind of products. Everything is small batch, handmade, sourced from all over the world. It's all unique stuff that you can't buy in like mass-produced things. Everything is handmade, and they're from all around the world, which we were really
lots of small businesses.
Yeah,
so like we're supporting small business. Lots of women-founded companies that are part of it. It's really, really cool just to kind of see what all is out there, and getting to bring the products that we find to you guys.
Next question: how long have you been vegetarian, and what made you make that choice?
I've been vegetarian for, God, I don't even know, over 10 years, something like that. I don't really keep track. A while. I will say, just to clarify, I think I remember seeing in the survey somebody said they were confused about if we were vegan or vegetarian, and I could see how you could be confused because I know we talk about vegan products sometimes. So
we've never claimed to be vegan.
We're not vegan.
We eat mostly plant-based. Plant-based and vegan are a little different.
We do eat some vegan products, so just in case you don't know, just to super quickly clarify, vegetarian is you don't eat any meat. So no meat, or I also don't eat fish.
Yeah.
If you are a vegetarian, meaning you don't eat like red meat, so you know, cow, chicken.
But if you eat fish, you're
a pescatarian. We don't eat fish, we don't eat meat, we're vegetarian. Vegans take it a step further and don't eat any animal products at all. So
that's including
no eggs,
honey, eggs,
cheese, honey. If it is made by an animal, you don't, or comes from an animal, you don't eat it.
Which we do eat. We do eat eggs, we do eat honey, we do eat the occasional cheese. Dairy. So that's why we've never claimed to be vegan.
Correct. So, but we do sometimes eat vegan products, like vegan cheese, for example.
Because I'm lactose intolerant.
But she still chooses to eat cheese. I try to limit it, but I don't exclusively ever say that I don't eat it. So
yeah,
quickly, that's the difference.
And I don't exclusively say that I'm a vegetarian either. So I'm a fairly picky eater, especially when it comes to vegetables. I like what I like, and when I'm cooking at home or like at our parents' house, you know, I can eat the kind of things that I like and still eat the semi-vegetarian diet, well, vegetarian diet at home. I will never cook meat at home here. The problem arises when we're traveling sometimes. There's sometimes maybe something on the menu that I don't eat, and especially with traveling with my immune system, like I have to fuel my body. So I'll eat the occasional chicken when we're traveling. We almost never eat red meat. It's usually, if I'm gonna eat a meat when we're traveling, it's gonna be chicken, and it's very little. You know, I don't eat it very much. She will never do that. I will do it when we're traveling sometimes.
I'll say when traveling, sometimes there are exceptions where we are in a place where they are like maybe known for something.
Oh yeah.
And I might have like a bite.
Yeah.
Like if Shelby
just
orders
to try
something else, like I might have a bite of it.
Because we like to immerse ourselves in the culture of where we're at.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be somewhere and be like, no, I'm never gonna eat that.
Yeah.
Even though it's something they're like really known for.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Yeah.
So I have, you know, a little bit of it, and you know, so you know, there's exceptions to everything.
So that's why when you see when we're traveling, sometimes if we're like panning over and you see like meat on a plate, it's either possibly our mom's, which she doesn't eat a lot of meat either. but if our dad's with us, it's definitely his plate, or if there's like chicken, it's possibly mine. Just because, you know, when you're traveling, I have to fuel my body. I can't live off of bread. You know,
I don't think I answered why.
Oh yeah.
I have never really liked meat. I've never really enjoyed eating it. To me, and it's totally a personal choice, but to me, when I'm eating meat, I'm thinking about the animal, and that makes me sad, and it makes me want to stop eating. But it's not necessarily like just solely an activist thing. You know, while that makes me sad, I also just don't particularly enjoy the taste. Our mom's the same way.
It doesn't make me feel good afterwards.
It doesn't make me feel good. I mean, I guess she cooked some meat growing up, but it wasn't like
it's more because our dad likes meat.
It wasn't an excessive amount, and I never ate a lot of it. She never ate a lot of it. I don't know, it's just
yeah,
kind of something that I feel like my body personally doesn't need to be fulfilled.
I never really liked beef ever. I would eat chicken when she cooked it. And I did always really like sausage, mostly because that's like in our blood, because we're German on our dad's side and Czech on our mom's side. And so that's just like, that's such like a cultural thing, and that's what we grew up with. So I did like sausage, but as I got older, like I stopped eating meat as much. And then when I moved to New York and in college and I was on my own and had to cook for myself, I quickly realized, I don't know how to cook meat. Not that she didn't teach us, I just never really cared to, and it really grossed me out. I didn't want to.
And it's expensive.
And also it's expensive, and I was like, I'm fine without this. And so I lived on my own for a year before I lived with Ashley, and so I maybe cooked a little bit like freshman year, but not really. And then when I lived with Ashley, it was just like, not that she cares if like it's around, that's not, I just didn't want to cook it myself, and I'm living my life great without it, but it's all a personal choice. All right, last question, because this is getting pretty long. How did we get started being bloggers/vloggers, and how do we make a living doing it?
We've kind of answered this before.
Yeah.
In previous Q&A.
So she used to read blogs like when they very first started.
I still read blogs.
Yes. No, I'm saying she read blogs and I watched YouTube videos.
I've read blogs for probably longer than I've been a vegetarian.
And I've been watching videos since literally the day YouTube became a thing. So it kind of collaborated together. Like we've said before, we've always known that we wanted to do something together, and with both of our kind of creative backgrounds and our business backgrounds, it just felt like the right fit, and it was the most natural thing. We were both so excited about it, and it was just something that we loved reading, and we were like, we want to do this.
Do you remember the initial conversation?
I don't know.
We were on the crosstown bus coming home from something.
No.
We were on the, I can't remember, I think it was the 79th Street crosstown bus heading home from something. I don't remember what we were coming home from. And we were just talking about, I don't even know what, but all of a sudden we were talking about future plans, I think, because it was kind of getting towards the end of your college, and you were kind of trying to figure out what you wanted to do after you graduated. And we started talking about things that we could maybe do together down the line, and I think we kind of mutually were like, let's just like start a blog and see you know, where that could go.
Awesome.
And now we're here.
So yeah, we started the blog first, and then about a year later we started incorporating the video content, and I think we both have strengths and weaknesses in both that kind of counter each other, which is really good, and I feel like that's why it works.
Yeah, it's nice to have a buddy.
So how do we make a living doing it? We don't like to talk about money a lot, as you know, most people don't. But we make money from a lot of different places. It's mostly all advertisements, advertisements on videos, advertisements on the blogs, affiliate links to things. When we
Do you guys know what an affiliate link is? I feel like that term's tossed around a lot, but I kind of get the feeling that a lot of people don't know what it is. So just quickly, it's a link that if you click on it, we earn a very small commission very small.
Not if you click on it. It's only if you purchase something.
Correct.
So just clicking on it doesn't.
If you purchase something through a link that we provide for you. So like for example, if we're like, oh, this sweater, click the link to shop it. If you click that link and then buy it, we get a very small commission, like
very small.
Sometimes it's less than $1. But all of that added up, you know, is a way that we make money. It means nothing to you. You don't even often know that you're clicking on an affiliate link, but that's what it is. So when bloggers or vloggers talk about affiliate links or recommend products, more often than not, it is an affiliate link.
And then, you know, sponsorships, and then with Sister Market, obviously like that. So it's not your typical job where you're gonna get this steady paycheck every 2 weeks. It's not how it is. So you have to be okay with that kind of life and not knowing exactly where your next paycheck's gonna come from, but it usually all works out at the end.
It forces you to work harder.
Exactly. Alright, well this video has gotten very, very long. There's still lots of questions left, but we'll do it in the next video, and maybe by that point we'll have some trips planned and we can announce them. We'll see. But hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any other questions, leave them down below. We'll answer everything in future videos. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe right there, and you can watch our latest video right there. See you guys next time. Bye!